What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Real Talk and Healthy Food. It's your girl. So come on in the room. Go ahead and hit that like. Don't even waste no time. And go ahead and subscribe. Care Bears, make sure you are subscribed. And let's get into the shits. Kanye. There's a whole lot to say. I have made a video. I have a three-part video. And excuse the video. I rewatched it recently, and it's a three-part video that goes into but it's kind of slow in pace, but I had just started recording, and I really wanted to ensure that everything that I was saying was factual. And I really just was really worried about that, but everything that I was saying, I was kicking facts. So, at that time, and I still kind of believe that Kanye West is dealing with some MK Ultra types stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I went into the whole history of MK Ultra so you could understand that it's a very real thing. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is a part of American history. So it is what it is. So, but I think I would encourage you to watch that because a lot of the things that I picked up on the different videos and also a documentary that I watched, kind of caters to that. I don't, I watching now. What now to the topic of today? I watched his rally, and I cannot call this no presidential rally. I mean, this had to be the most ghetto shit I have ever seen in my whole life. This was just like it was like a Q&A. It was just a Q&A for a famous rapper. Like, that's how I saw it. I watched it, unfortunately, to the end. And I think that might be why my head hurts. Not maybe that's why, because I was aggravated. His voice in itself was very aggravating to me because I don't, like I mentioned in my other Kanye West video, I don't know what has changed about him, but the way he talks is so different. And I pointed that out. I don't know if it's in part one or two. I think it's in part three, where I pointed out how in 2003 he talked one way, and then in 2000 and now, he speaks completely different. So anyway, let's get into the rally, okay? Because I'm gonna go point by point, and I took notes, so let's just get into the shits, okay? Okay, so at point, and you're gonna love me for this, hopefully. At point 13, at 13 minutes and 27 seconds, he references Django. So this is where I started. I was just skipping around to the meat and potatoes, okay? So he references Django and says that, mentions how him running for president will split the black vote. Because basically it's going to be a group of idiots that's going to be for him, and the rest of us, who has the mental capacity to understand how much of a joke that makes the black community look like. Okay, he said that that would be a very Stephen, the Sambo, from Django, the bootleg. He said that would be a very Stephen like thing to do. So then at point 14 minutes and 11 seconds, he runs into the Harriet Tubman statement where he says, she never freed the slaves. She only got them to work for whites. Well, we all know that's very much untrue. Um, there's no need to go into the history of Harriet Tubman. I'm not doing that tonight. We all know, in the words of Maury, that was a lie. Okay? And that was just some whole utter bullshit. Okay? Like, come on, Kanye. You got to do better. How your mama a whole professor and you let retarded shit like this come out of your mouth? She is rolling, tumbling, doing backflips, cartwheels. She is a whole circus in her grave. Believe that. Okay. Then he goes into now I'm going to say this before I go into all 3 pages or 4 pages of this rally, okay? Um, there's some things that I did actually agree with just on a moral level, but for the overall, I give this a thumbs down and I have a several seats. So at 14 minutes and 53 seconds, he basically started mentioning how the NBA and black artists and different corporations, as those of us as truth seekers, realize that well for black folks don't own nothing, and then overall how the corporations and things like that own everything. I mean, and at that point, I would recommend you watch the movie Zeitgeist. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's spelled Zeitgeist. And it was slow for me, but I had to watch it twice because her voice um, just didn't do it for me. But I would advise you to watch that if you need a point of reference. And a more hilarious point of reference that is in recent times, I would watch Capitalism, or maybe some documentaries by Michael Moore. He's kind of into that realm of things, or just research the Federal Reserve in itself. And that will be a segue into many areas of that topic, okay? Because it's vast and wide, but it really leads down to one thing, which is it's only a few people who run the world, okay? Um, at 16 minutes and 3 seconds, he was so this went into, I mean, he was really all over the place. But he mentioned the he was trying to mention Claudette Colvin, which was really the first black woman who sat on the front of the bus and refused to get up before Rosa Parks. He couldn't remember her name, but I can remember her name thanks to Drunk History on Comedy Central. She's really the first woman to sit on the front of the first black woman to sit on the front of the bus and refuse her seat, or refuse to get up. I forgot why he mentioned it. Because it was again all over the place. So I mean, I literally just watched it and I cannot remember what the fuck he was talking about. Okay, well, he starts off making half points and then kind of gets lost, and he goes off into these tangents, mentions a piece of a point, and then goes on into another subject. So he might need to take a little shot of Adderall, if he's going to continue to go on these rallies. He might need a little piece of Adderall, to help him out. At 16 minutes and 17 seconds, someone in the crowd mentions George Soros, and his answer is that he doesn't know, which I think that was a lie. But he goes into this spiel about he's gonna have to do more research and this and that. First of all, I don't believe that shit. That's just me. And then he says that there's no bad people. We're all equal in the eyes of God. La 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 la, and whatever. I would just at point 60 minutes and 17 seconds, click there and watch for yourself. It just seemed like a whole, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling that whole spiel. There's no bad people. It's just lost people. No, there is bad people out here in the world. So I don't give a fuck about what you're talking about or what interpretation of the Bible that you got. There are bad people out here. At point 1727, he goes into, he doesn't know much about George Soros. However, he knows that he does something, and he said he would like to meet with him in that regard. And Zuckerberg knows how to do this and that, and he wants to meet them in that regard. So what I found interesting is like, okay, you want to do all these wonderful things in the name of God, and how you keep mentioning Jesus, and being humble and all that, because with the mentioning, if we're going to talk biblically, which I am struggling with the truth of religion in itself, um with that, you're saying these things, but yet you're reaching to people who have sordid reputations. And I'm not talking about a sordid reputation in the sense of like a drug dealer. I'm talking about like heartless, soulless type people. I mean, a person like George Soros, who in the middle of the Holocaust, of all things, who is Jewish in himself, who is so heartless, he turns against his own people, and then goes against his own people to put them in the situation that they were in, with no regard, with no guilt, no remorse, no nothing. He traded on his own kind. So if he would do that, he don't give a damn about us. So I just kind of wonder I wonder what kind of person who would want to not only meet someone like that, not only interact with someone like that, but who would potentially want to create some kind of idea with a motherfucker. Like, yo, you're bugged. And then Zuckerberg, like while we're mentioning all these things, was on Jeffrey Epstein's roster to Chester Island on the Lolita Chester Express. So I don't understand how we could overlook all of that when it's right here. Not only is it in the news being questioned, but it's just super clear 1000% facts. So I don't get that. Um, and minute by minute, I mean, these are you know 15, 30, 45 second increments of time that he is slowly losing my respect. um then he mentions Moses, talking about, well, when we're called by God, when Moses was called, he had to leave his comfy job with the Egyptians, to let the people go, basically. Let my people go. That whole story off in the Bible, right? How Pharaoh was being warned with all those plagues, and he didn't want to let the people go, and he ended up losing his son. He ended up losing his whole city, country, or whatever. And then at the end of it all, he finally was just like, okay, God's real. Moses, ends up letting the Jews go. They go through where God parts the Red Sea. They walk through the sea to the other side of town, where they all turn out to be a bunch of fuckheads at the end of it all. So he went through all that to help a group of fuckheads, and then that's when they did the girl. Listen, so we're gonna move forward from that. I don't even know why I told that, but then he go, I'm turning the Kanye done run. I done got the Kanye done rubbed off on me. So he what had me cracking up too, he's like, un momento. And then he goes, well, that's a language that we should be learning, which is facts. I agree with that. Um, because a lot of American people judge uh, Spanish speaking people uh, about speaking, Spanish being their native tongue. And I do agree with the fact that, especially people who live in California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, in that part of the country, I do agree that it should be a part of the curriculum, and almost mandatory, really, to learn that language, because really America was, I mean, that part, specifically that part of America was stolen. I mean, all of America was stolen, but specifically that part in connection to Mexico was Mexico. Is still Mexico. I mean, when you go there, I'm from California. When you go there, it's like it's Mexico. I mean, it is what it is. The Mexican people have a heavy influence. I mean, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, boom. So going forward, at point 20 minutes and 21 seconds, he was questioned by someone in the crowd about Planned Parenthood. I can't remember what he said about that. Um, so then he starts telling the story about when Kim Kardashian got pregnant with Northwest. This motherfucker named his child a direction. But anyway, no wonder he's lost. Um, he starts going into when Kim Kardashian had gotten pregnant. He made a joke at point 2102 where he was like, man, she's going to call me. He thought she was calling saying that gave her AIDS. And I was like, yuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you're gassing like that. You're nasty. I mean, there's other things out there to be worried about. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was gross. Okay. Um, like for you to, well, anyway. So basically, he goes into the whole spiel about how they were basically considering aborting Northwest and where Kim, basically became his wife or whatever. I thought they were already married at that point, but she was considering not having that child and they ended up having it. At about 2.5 minutes later, he started crying because he basically was saying that his mother basically had that same dilemma where she was about not to have him and she decided to have Kanye West, of course. And what made him break down was at the point where his father, he said, because my father was too busy. Hold on. Yeah, and shout out to the son on YouTube for posting this full video online, except the part that's most important to us sisters. They blocked that part out, but don't trip, I got you. But we're gonna go in chronological order. So here's the part here. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through that cringe moment twice. That once and that little half is enough for me. I almost killed my daughter. Okay, that running for president, you have to keep your emotions intact, and clearly you're incapable of doing so. So boom, you done lost hella votes there. We don't need the president crying and shit over. We don't need to know all your business like that while you running for president. Okay, I'm sure even though I don't like none of the presidents, not one single one. Well, I kind of see it for JFK, but I'm just saying I don't see it for none of them motherfuckers. Like my brother said, unless they dead and green and get me in the residence. Okay, but I'm just saying, you can't be running for president and conducting yourself like that. No one's going to take you seriously. You have some heavy, heavy, heavy weight on your shoulders when you are a candidate. I mean, when you are a president. Like you're running an entire country. You're not running a shoe store. You know what I'm saying? So I just was just like, bruh, get it together. Okay? And with that, ugh. So anyway, at point 24:48, okay, somebody yelled at the crowd like because he kept going on and on from 2:30, and for a big grown ass man his size, and he's diesel, right? So for a minute and 15 seconds, that's a long time to hear somebody, right? So somebody's like, yo, what's the point? Somebody yells from the crowd, yo, what's the point? So he basically say no plan A, no plan B, only plan A's. And basically he wants to pay y'all, okay, who vote for Kanye for getting pregnant and having a baby. So at point 25:26, a white girl walks onto the stage, which I found very interesting in itself, walks onto the stage, and she is walks onto the stage mad aggressive. She all pink and red in the face and shit, and she's grouchy because basically recent 2 weeks ago, a homegirl done had an abortion. So I found that interesting how she could just walk up on the stage like, yo, like she hella checking somebody. Like, boo boo, you made that choice. Like, live with it. That is on your hands. I mean, hopefully I don't lose no subscribers, but I just don't see it for that. Like, do what you do, but don't think you about to get no snaps from everybody from your choice. I mean, your body, your choice. Live with that choice and keep it pushing. But don't force everybody else to agree with your shit. So she wanted to kind of like check him from that. And she was mad interruptive, mad interjecting, mad like rah rah with him. Like she was like rah rah for real. So at 27:58, he goes into Amber Rose. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he goes in, he tried to make a point, but I didn't get the point, right? And then at point 28:57, he goes into, people eat meat. And it's just like, what the fuck does that have to do with the point? Like 2 minutes ago, how many minutes was it? 3, 4 minutes ago, you on there, I almost killed my daughter. Now you're talking about how you and Amber Rose went to the Vatican, and how niggas is eating meat. Like none of that ran together where it made a point. You feel what I'm saying? That's the point that I'm saying. Okay. Now, although I agree with the part that I don't think nobody should be eating any motherfucking meat for real, but hey, it is what it is. It's America. Fuck yeah. Okay. So, at 29:30, so he gets into the abortion. And what I found hilarious is as he's disputing abortions and shit like that, a baby starts crying in the background. I thought that was hilarious. Oh, and simultaneously, a sister comes up there. Aisha strolls up there, but she's just on post mode, right? That's what it is. God will make it right. God will make a way. And those people, you have never met someone who has said, I had this child, and it's the worst. I thought that was motherfucking hilarious. I mean, it was so on point that I almost think it was like, a plan or something like that. But oh man, so he's basically, he is doing double speak to me because he is basically, he's just trying to talk people into not having an abortion, and basically saying, here are I'll create other options. I'll create a way for you. We'll create some sort of stipend. Like if you broke as fuck and you fucking around getting pregnant and shit, or it's this and that, like under that scenario where like maybe the condom broken, this and that, you're poor, you're fucking raw, you being loose, all of those scenarios. He's basically like, we could create something, a plan A, instead of you using plan B, okay? And I gotta say, I agree with that. Like That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we could agree on this platform. We could agree to disagree. I know some women got to do what it is that they got to do, but I tend to be one of the women that feel like condoms work just fine. So that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your coochie is just not pop. I mean, I'm not gonna say that. I mean, I just feel like your coochie ain't popping like that. If you can't get it cracking without one. I'm just trying to say, yeah, doing without a rubber is great and everything, but it's like, do you really wanna? Well, anyway, we ain't gonna get into that because y'all might not like me. I just think it's very unnecessary, especially when there's so many women in the world who really want a baby. You know what I'm saying? And I just think it's fucked up. And he goes into a spill about how no child is a mistake in his own way. And basically, y'all, Kanye is not for no abortion. Okay? And I just really wish he just would have said it like that. Just like how I'm saying it. I ain't for it. Period. So, I mean, oh well. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are and some people ain't. Like some people eat meat and some people don't. I mean, it's simple as pie. You know, some people like apple pie. I like blueberry. I mean, that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Some people like Hennessy. I like white Zinfandel. I don't want no strong ass shot of Hennessy. What the fuck am I gonna drink that strong ass drink for, bitch? So I could burn my throat up? The fuck is that about? You know? Some people want hamburgers, some people want tacos. I mean, it ain't that simplistic, but I'm just pointing out like so what? You know what I'm saying? No big deal. Some bitches, now, I think it's fucked up for the bitches who use it as a form of birth control because you just killing mad fucking babies and shit. And the fact of the matter is, they could feel that shit. And I just found that out like a few weeks ago. As a matter of fact, from some scientist guy. I don't know what I was watching. I'm always trying to learn some shit. But I found out and not only can they feel it more intensely than if you're a grown person. And I thought they couldn't feel that shit. I thought like the 3 and 4 month, abortions, they could feel it because there's some videos and shit. Um, where babies were really like fighting the doctor back. They're available on YouTube. They are right there on YouTube where the baby was literally fighting for his life. Facts. And it gets really gross. But I thought it was just that. But no, nigga, when they're even smaller than that, they could feel that shit. For real. And I was just like, damn, nigga, I did not know that. So I was like, pretty gross. Pretty gross. So the girl, what I thought was funny is how Kanye West put the white girl on blast, where he was like, Georgia here had an abortion and she did it because she only makes $9 minimum wage. Or he basically said it like that. My nose rings. So he basically said it like that. I thought it was pretty funny. I'm sorry, but I did. I thought it was funny. Yo, broke ass only make $9 an hour. So, bitch, you extra need to be taking $10 out your check. Go down to the Walmart. You could get you don't ask me how I know. Okay, but you could get you a jumbo pack for $9.88. Okay, bitch, and you'll have rubbers on deck. They got flavors, they got colors. Bitch, I even seen some. They got some going on. And then you sound like you super broke. $9 in 2020. This is what you do, bitch. Let me help you. You go to the hood, right? Go to the clinic depending on what kind of city you in. Girl, they would give you a paper bag with dumb fucking condoms in there, bitch. The motherfuckers thick too, bitch. For free. For the low. Okay? And depending on what city you in or where you going, they might even have a jar there where you could go in there, grab you some, and bitch, that's what I would do. When I was in my 20s and I was on my whole shit, I would, bitch, not only would I get the pack, I was in the city. So not only did they have the condom packs, they had the jars too. So bitch, not only did I get the pack, I got the jars and I got the Walmart pack. So bitch, I stayed on super deck, That's what you need to be doing with your $9 an ass hour, okay? $9 an hour ass. Your $9 an hour ass needs to be doing what the fuck I was doing. Cause apparently you can't afford to play no games. And bitch, I know that 300 and some dollars hurt your pockets. That's why you're jumping on stage all grouchy and shit. Cause bitch, you still trying to recover from that shit. And you had to take some days off too, bitch. $9 an hour, bitch. What you doing? So I know your other check's still hurting. Girl, you tripping. We need to have a sex talk on this channel. That's what we not only we're gonna introduce beauty, we're gonna introduce a sex segment. And I'm gonna put y'all on to some game. Mind you, the sister in the background still quiet, okay? So at point 39:15, he's basically, that's when he started talking about the stipend. It basically was like, well, what if you got $1 million? You know, what if it, he was like, I don't got, somebody said, well, what about the funding? And he was like, I don't got the funding, but I'm in a position I have the platform and the position to, you know, basically he knows some rich motherfuckers and he can introduce the idea, which I thought that was pretty factual. I mean, uh, excuse me, he kept saying how he's in the $1 billion bracket, so you know, and he be talking to his billionaire friends and shit like that. So I'm sure he could, you know, if it's not $1 million, I'm sure he could introduce some kind of stipend for the broke ass bitches who don't understand how to use rubbers. Um, I didn't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just mean it in a truthful way. And at point 41:57 or 37, what I did not like is how he was like, "Oh, give Georgia a round of applause for coming up here and telling the world how she killed her kid," and gives her a hug and shit, right? So the sister in the background, she claps because I guess she agreed. Okay. And then uh, about a minute later at 42:38, he mentions how he had smoked some weed the night before. Listen, I don't smoke. I just, that this is how I look, okay? And I'm exhausted. Um, and y'all be saying in the comments I look hot. This is how I look, okay? So I'm sorry, okay? That's the Chinese side from my grandfather, okay? We really got Chinese in our family, so it is what it is, okay? Now, then he said all weed is gonna be free. I was weak. Then a white boy comes onto the stage and he hugs him, and I was like, okay. So meanwhile, he skipped over the sister. Oh no, that light skinned dude, now that I'm thinking about it, he had been on there for a minute. The white dude had popped up on the stage and he gave him a hug and shit like that. But the sister was still in the back. You know what I'm saying? With the mask. Her mask came up to her eyes. She said, I don't give a fuck if it's Kanye or not. You ain't giving me that Rona, nigga. I don't give a fuck. And then so the light skinned dude, he had some question. He an old mumble mouth motherfucker, so it wasn't important to me. So then one point that he mentioned that I was like, ooh, facts. He was like, Kanye. At 45:33, he mentioned how uh we can't go against Big Pharma because they will kill me. Facts. Facts. They would. They would kill the shit out of him. And he black, they would super kill him. And Kim just on the strength. Okay? But, you know, I'm going to be honest. He was keeping it. That is a wonderful idea and a factual idea. I mean, really, honestly, I mean, and I'm going to go a little off track here. We really, really have to start. People laugh at me. They say, oh, I'm too lazy. Oh, I'm not going to. Listen, bitch, I'm telling you, you better start practicing right motherfucking now. Because soon you ain't going to have a job. And I just think when people say, "Oh, I'm not going," or "Oh, I can't," or "Oh, are real comfortable," you real comfortable with that. Them is going to be the people who get the chips and the mark of the beast and all that. I think them is going to be the ones. They're going to be the ones that get the vaccines. They're going to be the ones that go for the shits. And that's what I think. That's just my personal opinion. And that's why I'm practicing now and I'm getting my skills up flat out. And I think you should too. And anybody that comes into contact with this video, I think you should start practicing right now. I think you should start saving every seed that you can. Facts, man, for real. Because it's about to be that time. And then once I get on deck and start moving to the next levels, you know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna have to start how to learn how to clean water and make water out of nothing. And I'm gonna show y'all how to do that shit for real. The more I learn, the more you gonna learn, and we just gonna be in this bitch surviving together, bitch. Okay? And that's facts, Kanye. Now, even though you crazy as fuck and I wasn't feeling how you did the sister, facts is facts. That's how you fight Big Pharma. You feel me? That's how you keep yourself together. And really, I think, you know how sick I was? Honestly, if I really think that I probably would have kicked the old bucket if I didn't eat. I didn't eat the way I eat. Even though, I mean, I eat my chips and my junk and stuff like that. But for the majority in the day to day, I mean, it's usually a healthy option compared to the normal person. And since I quit smoking, that soda has been going down the hatch. Okay, that's probably why my teeth hurt. But anyway, no, my head hurts from this goddamn what you call it. But that's facts though, Kanye. I mean, he was kicking facts. So 20 seconds later at 45:53, finally the sister gets to talk. Now, let's go back to when she first jumped on the stage. She's been waiting a while. Damn, 15 minutes. She was just up there posted. And she was quiet and stuff like that at this point, all the way up until this point. Now, something that I found really interesting, how he was engaged with everybody else, gave the old white girl a hug, but when it was Aisha's turn to talk, his body language was so fucked up. He was just looking like, and I'm going to show y'all that clip and he didn't give a fuck about what Aisha had to say. Okay, so the son's sound went off. Like they didn't have the sound. But look at him while she's talking. Not only that, he was like, "How do you feel? How do you feel at the end of this?" And then give like, oh, hold on. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. How did you feel? Oh, but check this out. Aisha's comment is on gun violence in the United States. I live on a 4,000-acre ranch, and I can shoot AR-15s all day, facts, without going to jail. And it feels weird because I grew up in Chicago, where if you use one of the guns that were strategically placed in your community for you to get locked up, you will end up going to jail. I was talking to a fellow billionaire, and he talked about. That's my number. No, I don't want to use his name. No, I told you I ain't going to use his name. He told me to use his name. I don't know what that had to do with what color I'm gonna get my nails done for my birthday, which is July 26th, by the way. Feel free to show me some love. Um, but I'm just saying, like, did you see the dust that he paid her? And then never, ever at any point answer the question. He got distracted by that dude, which led to something else. And uh yeah, so boom. So then Aisha says something in opposition, which I would imagine, and this is at point 48 minutes and 40 seconds. And I couldn't hear what she said, but the way it sounds, it was in opposition of what he had said at the time. And I can only imagine that she said something like, so when you gonna answer the question, bruh? And he got mad and like totally checks her. Then he started going into agriculture and this and that. That was part of the answer to the question, okay? And I forgot to mention that. They're lying to us. And then the boneheads cheer. Did you see that? Like, how do you cheer when he's reprimanding her for the same thing that everybody has been doing the entire time? Let me run something back. I'm sorry, but look at her face. She's I'm sorry. What the fuck? They're lying to us. I just wanted to point out the difference in both of their demeanors. Like the white girl popped up on there like whoop 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 whoop, but the black girl's like, well, I mean, no, and it's just like he was just really at her neck and basically saying that she's distracting, she's adding to the distracting, and it's like, bruh, like what the fuck are you talking about? And then turns around and hugs a white boy. And then that was the wrong part. That was the wrong part. My bad. This part, what I wanted to point out is how look at his body language with the white boy. He is smiling. He's engaged. He's giving him eye contact. Watch this. This is few seconds after that. I can't hear what he asked or what he said at all. I mean, you would think that they would have a microphone for the people for these questions that he deems important. But did you see that? He was engaged. He was responding. He was facing him. You know, whereas he paid the sister dust after she had been standing there for 11 years. And I just cannot understand that. Okay? And then where we gonna wrap all this up, what I found interesting, and then I'm gonna put my little spin on it at the end. You know, at 5502, he was like, basically, black folks is more worried about how to look good, um, and embarrassing each other in public like he just did her. I mean, damn, isn't that ill how he said that? And meanwhile, he's the same person who literally just did that shit. Like, bruh, I'm gonna need you. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Yes. And then, at 55:35, a nigga in the back house about some Kanye, where your mask at? Hold on. Look at that nigga's face. Look at that. Yo, I'm making this the motherfucking. I, he was mad bad. Yo, and shocked. Ooh, y'all had Kanye fucked up. Y'all had Kanye fucked up right there. Okay. I had to do it one more time. I had to hit that back one more time, okay? Okay. Okay. Yo, he a petty motherfucker for asking him that. Okay, he was mad, y'all. He was mad. Woo, finally the last pay. So then this is the part at the end where he roasted her. So at first I didn't know it was the same girl. It was the same girl that had been on post on the stage and he paid her dust and now she's in the audience because apparently she got kicked off the stage, and this is how it goes. And he said he called her sister soldier, and it's like, okay, first of all, thank you. Second of all, are you forgetting that you're a black guy from Chicago? Like, first of all, you're not Bill Clinton. This is not no rehash of the shit in the 90s. And as a matter of fact, on the behalf of Sister Soldier, let me run this. I'm going to run that clip and I'm going to learn y'all some shit. 1 second. But I mean, like, where was all that energy for the white bitch when she was walking up on the stage? Like, she literally pulled a you on you. Like, she literally Taylor Swift your ass. Like, she Kanye you, nigga, reversed. Like, how do you? Where was all that energy? You know, when old girl took the mic from you, like, I'm gonna need you to stop. And he continued. Okay, every person who was like, ooh, all y'all and y'all mamas are dumb as fuck. I just wanted to say that on my platform to all 696 of y'all. All y'all is stupid as fuck. Ooh, isn't there a pandemic going on right now? Isn't there a whole coronavirus? Aren't masks required in public? I mean, I just tell me if I'm tripping here, but aren't we all supposed to be wearing masks? Didn't a nigga just ask you where your mask was, Kanye? I'ma need you. He can't smoke no weed. He can't smoke no weed. He's stupid as fuck. He been hanging around Trump too long. How you gon' like? And everybody he said, ooh, while they had a mask on their face. If you was one of the niggas in the crowd that said ooh and had a mask on, you're extra stupid. You belong in the corner with a dunce hat on. You belong in the corner, my nigga. You in time. Go to timeout. Go to timeout. You're in fucking timeout because you're stupid. Go go to timeout. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up here. Another guy gets kicked out. Kicked. It took about an hour, and that's about how long this is. A guy gets kicked out for mentioning Negichi. I forgot why, but he was mentioning other tribes and shit like that, or whatever. You know, Kanye. Listen, this is how we gonna wrap this up. I'm tired, okay? I'm tired. I'm exhausted by how much of an idiot you are. And then how you just, oh, I'm not going to wrap it up. Hold on. I got to learn you something. I forgot. I'm going to show you a sister soldier and how she bodied. And you thought, and this is what's so ill to me, you thought that shit was cute. I almost forgot. You thought that shit was cute. If I was a white man, I would have called you a sister soldier. I'm sorry, I'm tired, y'all. I just got off work. I'm teaching in between work. You got to keep the attention of a 6-year old. Like that shit is hard. Shout out to all the mamas out there, okay? But listen, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You thought that shit was cute, but let me show you something, Kanye. You know, you're fucking up. You're fucking up on a very real level. And guess what? All those white men that you're talking about is laughing at your weird dumb ass. Hold on. A rap singer here last night named Sister Soldier. I defend her right to express herself through music. But her comments before and after Los Angeles were filled with the kind of hatred that you do not honor today and tonight. Just listen to this. What she said. She told the Washington Post about a month ago, and I quote, if black people kill black people every day, why not have a week and kill white people? So you're a gang member and you normally kill somebody, why not kill a white person? Last year she said, you can't call me or any black person anywhere in the world a racist. We don't have the power to do to white people what white people have done to us. And even if we did, we don't have that low-down, dirty nature. If there are any good white people, I haven't met them. Where are they? Right here in this room. That's where they are. I stand before you today feeling very confident, steadfast, and powerful. At the same time, I am surprised that as a young African woman, I have impacted and effected the development of not only national politics, but international politics as well. It is very shocking to me that in a time of American economic recession and inner city urban chaos, Democratic presidential contender Bill Clinton has chosen to attack not the issues, but a young African woman who is very well educated, alcohol free, drug free, a successful self employed businesswoman, and a community servant. Considerable time has been spent debating whether America should take seriously the words of a rap artist or so-called entertainers. Let me clarify for the press now who I am. I am Sister Soldier, Sony ethnic rapper, activist, organizer, and lecturer. I was born in the Bronx in New York City, spent the earlier part of my life there, was raised by my mother with 4 children, was on and off the welfare system for approximately 15 years, lived in government subsidized
subsidized housing called the projects and was classified by sociologists as being in the underclass, meaning living below the poverty line in a vicious cycle of poverty that America says cannot be broken. I supplemented my own education in the white American school system by reading African history, which was intentionally left out of the curriculum of American students. By doing so, I was able to become the well-balanced, reassured, and confident woman that I am today. I was a legislative intern at the age of 16 in the United States House of Representatives for the Republican Party and the recipient of the American Legion's Award for Constitutional Oratory and Extemporaneous Discourse. I attended Cornell University Advanced Placement Summer Session. I entered Rutgers University majoring in African Studies and History. While at Rutgers University, I attended the University of Salamanca, studying abroad in Salamanca, Spain. I worked at a medical center in Zimbabwe. I have visited Mozambican refugee camps, traveled throughout the Southern African region. I have also visited and lectured in the former Soviet Union, England, France, Portugal, Finland, Holland. Moreover, at Rutgers University, I was a well-known prolific writer and political commentator in the university newspaper. I attended church in the Bronx in New York City, where my great-grandmother was the pastor who recently died this year at the age of 92. While finishing up at Rutgers University, I was offered a job by Reverend Dr. Ben Chavis at the United Church of Christ Commission for Racial Justice, which is a civil rights firm sponsored by the church. I developed, organized, and financed through hip-hop music a sleepaway summer camp called the African Youth Survival Camp for children of homeless families and ran it successfully for 3 years. I left Rutgers University one semester prior to my graduation. I have spoken on the same platform with Jesse Jackson, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Reverend Ben Chavis, Reverend Dr. Calvin Butts, and Nelson Mandela. As you can see, I am no newcomer to the world of politics and movement. I am mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, intellectually, and academically developed and acutely aware of the condition of African people throughout the entire world. My album, 360 Degrees of Power, is an amalgamation of all of my thoughts, personal and professional experiences here in America. My album was produced by Eric Sadler, one of the producers who created the music for Public Enemy, Ice Cube, and others. Any person who purchases my album will have a full understanding of what I think and believe, although it was designed specifically for the African community. I am certain that Bill Clinton was unfamiliar with me, my development and work, musical and otherwise. He chose to comment without any investigation whatsoever based on an interview in an ultra-conservative newspaper, the Washington Post, where the reporter came with a preconceived, premeditated angle. And the Post is as familiar with the experiences of Africans in America, inner city, urban youth, and hip-hop as Bill Clinton is. I, however, did not fail to do my research, and my research reveals the following indictment of Bill Clinton's integrity. Number one, Bill Clinton is a draft dodger who writes in a letter, "Thank you for saving me from the draft," and then asserts regularly on a normal basis, "As president, I pledge to maintain military forces strong enough to deter and, when necessary, to defeat any threat to our essential interests. There are certain circumstances in which the president should consider ordering the use of force, when our vital interests or clear commitments are at stake, when we have clear, achievable objectives, and when there's strong support and solemn commitment." So here is a man who feels that it's all right to send your son to fight in the war, but would not fight in the war himself for the principles that he says he believes in. Number two, Bill Clinton talks of morality, but admits that he was a reefer smoker who doesn't inhale. The soldier has never smoked reefer and is completely drug-free. Number three, Bill Clinton says he believes in a strong family unit, but could never quite get his own personal and social behavior together. His treatment and dismissal of Jennifer Flowers is indicative of how he relieves himself from his own personal responsibility and created an emotionally abusive environment to another woman. He seems to be member and white supremacist, but was a member in an all-white segregated club up until this year. Bill Clinton portrays himself as compassionate, yet he supports giving prisoners lobotomies and removing a section of their brain. Bill Clinton takes shots at Dan Quayle's intellectual feasibility, yet he has not presented America with any substantive, comprehensive agenda around economic development, foreign policy, budget containment, or social policy. Bill Clinton says that he is not a racist, but he tries to distance himself from the Reverend Jesse Jackson, a candidate who has registered more voters than Bill Clinton, served the interests of the poor blacks, poor whites, poor Latinos, unions, labor, and farms, and by experience, intellect, charisma, is far more qualified for the position than Bill Clinton himself. Therefore, we can conclude that Bill Clinton lacks integrity and paints himself as a staunch patriot, people servant, a compassionate liberal, a family man, a pro-woman candidate, or a coherent scholar. He lacks integrity in all of those areas. Sister Soldier, on the other hand, was used as a vehicle, like Willie Horton, and various other black victims of racism, a poor excuse for an agenda-less candidate. Sister Soldier does not own a gun, has not shot or killed anyone, did not invade Grenada, Panama, Nicaragua, Kuwait, or Angola. Sister Soldier has not ever ordered the National Guard into anyone's community.
That's how she's talking about when they got the drugs in.
Sister Soldier has never been a member of a terrorist organization, has no history of crime whatsoever, has never lynched white people, burned crosses on their lawn, or hung them from trees. Sister Soldier has not systematically denied people the right to study and enjoy their culture in the so-called public educational system. Sister Soldier did not send the Haitians back to Haiti as though they were subhuman. Sister Soldier did not kill the Native Indians under the guise of friendship. Sister Soldier did not cause or inspire police brutality, did not beat Rodney King or shoot Philip Pennell, never shot a little white girl in the head for stealing orange juice and killed her and let her murderers go free. Sister Soldier did not vote on the Simi Valley jury and let criminal cops go free. Sister Soldier did not create the economic conditions of South Central Los Angeles or any other urban area for that matter, did not create an environment of insecurity that forced young black men into gangs. Therefore, we can conclude that Sister Soldier is not a racist, nor is any other African leader or African person in this world able to be a racist because they do not have the power to collectively and systematically beat down and destroy white people.
Now, while you're sitting up there calling people sister soldiers and all that jazz, you're paying her a huge motherfucking compliment while you up there talking shit, trying to act like you some white boy from Arkansas, okay? First of all, you a nigga from Chicago. Let's just keep it funky. You could be in the Billionaire Boys Club all you want, but they look at you. What didn't they see? Niggas be listening to Jay-Z. And I don't like him. I don't like him. But they don't hear what the fuck he be saying to y'all. Do y'all listen and just be bobbling your motherfucking head? Or do you hear what the fuck what's pumping in your ears? Are you just a bobblehead, lip syncing ass motherfucker? Like I just, so like while you sitting up there being disrespectful, I'm gonna need you to put some respect on her motherfucking name. Okay? One of our living legends. One of our living legends. And I'm gonna need you to put some respect on her motherfucking name, Kanye West. And as an honorary an honorary member of the black delegation, your black card is under review and it shall be revoked soon. I am submitting the forms to get your black card removed and to get you escorted out of here because I don't know why you keep coming back. You have decided to, while you sit up there talking about Planned Parenthood and shit, you're already participating in the demise of your own fucking community. You are breeding out. So I'm not one of those who's just some rainbow fucking shit. Like if we're talking in regard to the black community specifically, and in regard specifically in this conversation, you know what I'm saying, to Planned Parenthood, and in regard to Margaret Singer and the other evil white people who specifically created Planned Parenthood so black women could not produce children because they thought we were the lowlifes and the degenerates of the world, and they were trying to keep during that time what they deemed as the good people and sift out what they thought was the bad. So anybody that was slow, black, or not just white with the blonde hair and blue eyes, they did everything that they could, like introducing condoms, introducing birth control, and putting Planned Parenthood all up and through the black motherfucking communities. You come in the black community, it's all kind of clinics and shit for you to motherfucking kill your seed. You go to the Rudy Pool areas where the white bitches and shit and the zip code is better than yours, you're gonna see fertility clinics and shit all off in your area, and shit for your baby and once upon a child and all that shit. You don't see that kind of shit in no black community and whatnots, okay? And for the bitches with the raggedy wombs who can't carry seeds and shit like that, they got all kind of shit catering to the white bitches and shit. So, and specifically into the point, back to Margaret Sanger and with her evil ass, this bitch said it out her own motherfucking mouth. Okay, so I couldn't find the clips that I was looking for, but I found the article where a close friend of hers in the Margaret Sanger's magazine in April of 1933. And what is known is that she did a lot of speaking in Ku Klux Klan for the women. Um, the Ku Klux Klan's women's circle. And in Margaret Sanger's magazine, um, she published a shocking article entitled Eugenic Sterilization, an Urgent Need. It was written by Margaret's close friend and advisor, Ernest Rutan, who was then serving as Hitler's director of genetic sterilization and had earlier taken a role in the establishment in the Nazi Society for Racial Hygiene. Later in June of that same year, the Birth Control Review published an article by Leon Whitney, Selective Sterilization, which adamantly praises and defended the Third Reich's pre-Holocaust race purification programs. Killer Angel, a biography of Planned Parenthood's founder, Margaret Sanger, page 71 to 72. Sanger openly advocated for eugenics in her book, The Pivot of Civilization. She says eugenics suggests the reestablishment of the balance between the fit and unfit. The birth rate among the finer stocks of humanity is to be increased by awakening amongst the fit realization of the dangers of a lessened birth rate in proportion to the reckless breeding of the unfit. For this type of writing, she had become dubbed by the awareness concerning her advocacy, which hailed as more children from the fit and from the less from the unfit. Margaret Sanger used deception and propaganda to fool the black population into believing that she and her movement were working toward helping them. Although her talk about them was disconcerting and of race bent. On the Sanger Blacks Project, the most successful educational approach to the blacks is through a religious appeal. We do not want word to get out that we want to exterminate the black population, and the minister is the man who could straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to their more rebellious members. Gordon's Woman Body Woman's Rights, page 332. So, I mean, by who she kicked it with and the things that they was about And then what she literally just said lets me know that she is not for the black folks action, okay? So to be big up in some shit like that, Kanye, like I'm gonna need you to have several motherfucking seats. And like how at the beginning of the month are you acknowledging that this was developed by some white supremacists, but yet I mean like all throughout your little speech or whatever, you did say you was not for the abortion action, but you're so scattered and so fucked up that I'm gonna need you to just get your shit together and shut the fuck up for real. Like and then like to disrespect. Not only did you disrespect Harriet Tubman's name, but you disrespected our living legend, Sister Soldier. Okay, who is more than deserving of our highest regard. Okay, at the very minimum, you should be giving her your highest regard. Okay, because the only thing you did was take pre-existing songs and put a new verse on top of them. I mean, hell, I got a notebook of songs that I did that too. So, like, I mean, get the fuck out of here with your new to realization ass. And then, and my point of all that was you're participating in the breeding out of the unfit class, which would be you, fool. Which would be me, my nigga. What the fuck is you talking about? You're already breeding out. And these motherfuckers is the type of niggas that be trying to be like hella pro black, but then marry a white bitch. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? How are you extra pro black and you got a white bitch on your arm? And then, like, do you not understand that for the most part, mixed breed kids do not marry black women or black men? They usually go with the white action. So, what are you talking about? And how are you so ready? You know what I'm saying, to check a black woman, but you not checking your woman for her cultural appropriation. Like, how do you not do that? But you so pro black. Meanwhile, I mean, what the fuck are you saying? Oh, that's hot when she got her cornrows in. Like, what are you talking about? And she never give props where props due. Her and her whole weirdo devil worshipping ass family. You know what? I can't fuck with you no more, Kanye. I tried to have your back. I care. And I'm just tired. I'm tired of caping for niggas who don't give a fuck about us. Straight the fuck up. Like, just flat out. And you know what? I'm gonna give my props where my props is due. And listening to the sisters who really be pointing out the facts, like Chrissy, like Paris Milan, Divine Dark Skin, and all those sisters who be like really looking out for us, because we gotta watch who our loyalty is so tough. They don't like I'm not talking about all black men. I'm talking about the black men like the Steven this what's that nigga's name? Who's the clown ass nigga that be talking about bitter black women? Them kind of niggas. Like them kind of niggas be hella quick to be all George Floyd and Whoopi Scoop and la la la. But in real time, hella down in black women. Like they like black women's characteristics on a white woman. That's what they like. Like they like you see how I'm talking, how I'm naturally like whoop whoop whoop, right? They don't like when I do it. They don't like when how I'm tatted up, how I got my braids, how I got my nails, how I'm hella checking a nigga right now. You know what I'm saying? They don't like when we do it. This is our shit. This is how we are, right? But they don't like when we do it. They like when the white bitch is doing our shit. They like when the white bitch got the braids. They like when the white bitch got the long acrylics. They like when the white bitch is like this is just how I am. I'm not putting on. I'm making a point. But they like when the white bitch is doing all this like me. It's not cute when I'm doing it. They pay us dust. But let Kim Kardashian come through regulate. They gonna be like, ooh, and all the shit, right? Like back in the gene, right? And I remember in my little dancer days when my before I had all these roles and stuff. I'll show you some pictures one day. But when I was boom pow cloud down down, right, and all that ass and all those titties, oh I was too big or oh I was too thick, right? Now these white bitches is squeezing themselves up to look like how I look. And ooh, that's sexy. Ooh, that's exotic, right? So them is the kind of niggas that I'm talking about. He's one of them kind of niggas, right? Like you see that white bitch came up on stage, hella checking him, hella regulating, and then the girl was cool. The black girl was cool, calm, and collective, asking one motherfucking question, and it's a whole motherfucking problem. And the whole crowd, ooh, like a group of fucking idiots. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. And then gonna call her sister soldier as a disrespectful name, but meanwhile, that's motherfucking a compliment. And then for you to use a real situation in our black history where Bill Clinton had tried to put her on the spot when hip hop was when everybody was against the grain with hip hop. If it wasn't for the sister soldiers, if it wasn't for the public enemies, if it wasn't for the Ice Cubes, if it wasn't for the Tupacs, if it wasn't for the Professor Griff's, Nick Cannon, okay, you wouldn't have no position at the fuck all. So I'm gonna need you to put some respect on our legends' names, my nigga. While you sitting up there playing motherfucking games, them white bitches got you fucked up. These motherfuckers get around these white folks and forget what time the fuck it really is. And I'm not about to keep caping for these niggas no more, for real. Fuck them motherfuckers. And all the white bitches and that weirdo nigga that Bruce. Fuck him too. Shit, gonna try to be pulling up some sister soldier when they try to put her on the motherfucking spot, taping for some shit that you're benefiting from to this day. It wouldn't be no Kanye West. It wouldn't be no hip hop on tech if it wasn't for them. Did you not did you forget where hip hop stems from? While we got all this faggotry and lip syncing going on, and I can't appreciate that. And then want to go sit up there and turn around and holler about some Malcolm X and all that shit. Malcolm X will be roasting y'all motherfucking asses right now. He didn't say no, he didn't mention no Malcolm X in this, but niggas is so quick to quote Malcolm X, but leave that the quote that how black women is the most. And I hate, like, I got into some shit on Instagram. Now I'm going off on a tangent right now. I got into some shit with a nigga on Instagram talking about black men and black women is both doofus, whatever the fuck dumb dunce shit that he said. And meanwhile, we are the most disrespected motherfuckers on the planet. They only around when they need us. And them days is motherfucking over for me. I just thought I'd let you know. I ain't about to be caping for a motherfucker who don't give a fuck about his own woman. And I'm going to keep telling you guys this. And I'm going to keep reminding you. Black men will always be the joke of the day until they start protecting their own women. And I'm going to point out two reasons why. We're the only group of women that got to wonder if the nigga that they interested in even want to fuck with black women. We're the only group. We're the only group that we got to go, damn, do he even like black girls? How embarrassing is that? Right? And we're the only group where niggas is so quick to talk about a black woman real quick. Chastise her and check her in front of the whole world like we ain't worth shit. And guess what? Everybody's laughing at you. The Mexicans don't do that. The Puerto Ricans for sure don't do that. The Russians don't do that. The Chinese don't do that. The Czechoslovakians don't do that. Y'all the only motherfuckers that do that. And that's why everybody laughs at you. And you will always continue to be the joke until you protect your woman. And I'm going to end it on that. So you better put some respect on Sister Soldier's name while you bringing her the fuck up and step your game up while you sitting up there and got that white bitch on your motherfucking arm getting you all fucked up and your black card about to get revoked. My nigga, you're under review. You're pending review. And I I'm submitting the paperwork to trade you for John B. Because we ain't never had no problems with motherfucking John B. He done linked up with Babyface. He got hits. He married a black woman. We ain't never had no problems with him. And he got a classic song with Tupac. He ain't never out of pocket. He ain't never in no trouble. So I'm submitting the paperwork tonight to trade you in, nigga, because you about done. And I was done with you when you said slavery was a choice. And that's just me. So I'll review it with the black delegation tomorrow. And we will see if you still invited to the motherfucking barbecue. But I vote that security take your raggedy ass back to Calabasas with those devil worshiping white bitches that eat placentas and shit out of ovens and shit and worship the devil. So court adjourned on that. But with all that said, I'm about to get the fuck out of here because it's time for me to go to bed. So share if you care, share if you dare, especially if you a motherfucking Care Bear. And if you don't like it, you could kick rocks. Care Bears, please make sure that you're subscribed. I kicked a lot of facts in this video, and every time I start kicking facts, the shit starts going down. So make sure that you're on deck. Make sure you hit that notification. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Make sure you hit me on the gram, okay? So peace, love, and hair grease and all that jazz. I'm out. Kanye, you should be ashamed of yourself. Period.